Hi guys, Stu here with a new video, and this video will be the class tuning incoming in 17th of May or 16th if you are from the USA, from US servers, excuse me, NA servers, excuse me. There are a few changes. I read it like very throughout, but some changes are very good, some changes are a bit like weird, but I'm going to discuss about them and give my opinions. Again, please do like the video if you like those kinds of videos, subscribe to the channel if you love PvP content. We're doing MMO content, but also League of Legends on the second channel. I will post League of Legends on the second channel, so you will see in the description the second channel in question. Now let's talk right away about Death Knights. They got a few buffs and nerfs. Frost Decay got a buff of 3% for all abilities. Then you have Obliterate actually doing 5% more damage, Frost Strike doing 6% more damage, Howling Blast 6% damage, Remorseless Winter 8%, and Frost Fever damage increased by 12%. And do not forget you get also 3% increased for everything here extra, so it will be 8% more damage for Obliterate, for example. And Obliterate, whenever you are doing like your rotation, often or not it will crit, so you can actually have 8% and then you can just like math 150% increase all of that damage, and you will see that like 1.5 extra damage on the Obliterate, so it is going to do a lot more damage plus a mastery and such, so it is going to do some good damage, but you will see a bit later there's also a few nerfs towards that, so it's a bit iffy, but we can play around it. Demon Hunter so we have Chaos Strike and Annihilation again increased by 10%, so they really want it to be stronger. First Blood talents damage bonus to first enemy struck increased to 95%. And we have also Inner Demon talent damage increased by 30%. All of these things are actually very big for having the Demon Hunter. I think First Blood is something that is going to be very noticeable. And then Chaos Strike, of course, if you're like spamming a bit more Chaos Strike or Annihilation, it will do a lot more damage as well. Inner Demon, I don't remember what it is, but it is a talent, and if you take it or not, it is depending on your build path. If you want to see a build for Demon Hunters, do watch Tenacitate. He does some good guides, so please do watch him. We have some nerfs towards, also buffs towards the Foresight of the Fault of the Incarnate. Again, it's like set bonus tuning. You will not use it anymore, and often not you will not use it anymore in PvP because you are actually obligated to play honor gear, which is a good thing. I'm actually very liking the decision that they made about honor gear being like better than conquest gear. So you have like a fresh like start without 4 sets and such, 2 sets. Rejuve of mana cost reduced to 11% base mana instead of 12%. I think it's barely noticeable. We have a buff to the Aberrus set bonus cooldown reduction for Bishop Wrath increased to 2 seconds, was 1 second. I think it's very big. This is going to be very noticeable for the future 4 set of Beast Mastery. Kill Cleave now strikes nearby enemies for 80%. That's PvE, but if you play it in PvP, whatever, man. But personally, whenever I'm playing BM Hunter, I don't have the points to spend on Kill Cleave and Beast Cleave, so those two things are like kind of useless for PvP. Frost Mage, all ability damage on increased by 4%. I think Frost Mages are very strong right now, and this is going to help a ton, even though the crit changes are annoying for Frost Mages, don't get me wrong, but it did already get a buff before the season starts, and then when the season starts, and right now also again a buff, so it's going to be very noticeable with all those changes together. We have also all ability damage increased by 2% for Elemental Shaman. I don't think it's too noticeable, but it might be doing something better for us. And Vault of the Incarnates, we are not using it anymore because we have the Honor gear. Warlock, Affliction Warlock gets 3% more damage. Again, going to be barely noticeable in PvP because Affliction Warlock is just not really good at the moment. Like you are basically trying to cheese with your Observer, but that's it. Like people now just kill Observer very quickly. So personally, I use even CDs to kill it because it is a CD. You respond a CD to a CD, in my opinion, and if you can respond to it very quickly, the Observer has no value. Death Knight's Unholy Reanimation Explosion now deals 15% instead of 20%. This is a very strong talent. You can play around it because you do see a zone. If you're a very mobile spec, like for example Havoc, Demon Hunter, Windwalker, or whatever, you can really run away from it. Although you can get stunned and then that's it, you're going to get blown up. But it is not really lethal damage. I never really died because of that. Like it facilitates my death, but it's not like the sole purpose of my death. I think all those things are actually very good. Less clutter to the screen, and then we have like a nerf which I don't know why they do that, because the whole spec is built around that. Pillar of Frost now increases strength by 15% instead of 25%. And yes, all those buffs are like kind of compensating, but strength scales immensely better than just all ability damage is increased by 3%. The strength is for every single action you're going to do as a Frost Decay is going to get immense value. This is a huge nerf. It's 10%. Like all those buffs previously are not going to make it feeling better. And currently, how Frost Decay plays around their burst windows, and their consistent damage is really low. And yes, this will increase the consistent damage, but this is not enough. Like I think the whole spec should get reworked. That's my opinion about Frost Decay. You may like it. I personally also like Frost Decay, but not this iteration. I think this iteration is one of the most laziest designs contrived, because PvE and PvP are like vastly different, and they might be better in PvE, and that's why in PvP we are kind of like overlooked, and vice versa. If we are good in PvP, they're going to get nerfed, and in PvE it will be even worse. And yes, they have like a breathe, build, talent, whatever, but they have a lot of talents in like together, that they work together. So if they get a nerf, it's nerfs for both builds, and that's actually very bad. But anyways, that's my opinion about Pillar of Frost. I feel like they should maybe remove it and just put all that power back to the consistent damage and burst, and the problems would be a bit solved. But you will need to rework a lot of talents to actually make it work. That's my opinion again. Rain from Above gets nerfed to 8% instead of 10%. I think it's like legit good. I think this is a bit too easy damage and a bit no brain right now. We will have to see if they're going to do like butcher it, or if they're going to keep it at 8%. I think personally they're going to butcher it next patch again, because it is too easy the access damage, and just lining is not like an option if they're going to do it like in open. Monk, Strength of Spirit now increases the healing of external harm by up to 50% instead of 100%. So they're hitting on the self heals for windwalkers, like reverse harm now increases the healing done by expel harm by 30% instead of 6%. So the healing will be a lot less strong. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to survive because of that nerf, because that's a big nerf. They actually survived a bit longer because of that. And I wonder if that's enough to actually like put it down. We'll see. This is like a huge nerf, like 50% to 30% here, so it's going to be pretty noticeable. Holy Priest gets immense nerf buffs, by the way. Renew gets 34% increased instead of 22%, so it's like a 12% increase on Renew. Flash Heal also gets a 12% increase. Heal gets a 14% increase. Sanctify gets a 10% increase, and Serenity gets like a 10% increase from their previous buff. This is going to be actually nuts. I think they're going to heal a lot. Although that's not really the sole issue that Holy Priest has. I think one school of spell is kind of hard, but you have ways to actually like free cast because of like getting spirit res by themselves. But we'll have to see if they do have the throughput. I think Holy Priest is a throughput healing spec, so it's either going to be very strong or it is going to be like middle of the road, because there is no real throughput necessity if you're doing well, and if you're doing bad, you need a lot of throughput to actually be effective. And being effective to heal something as a Holy Priest means that you're going to suffer mana wise, or you're going to suffer versus a few teams that can interrupt and silence you pretty easily. Now they're going to nerf the self heals of Earth Shield by 30% for enhancement Elemental Shaman. I'm going to be honest, I did some 2s with my enhancement Shaman, I did some 3s, I did some Soul Shuffle. I truly believe we are minimum A tier, minimum. I haven't had that much success in 2s since ages, and I played with a disc priest, and yes, it was lowish MMR because we are still trying to climb, but it feels nuts. Your self heal is good, the strong burst is good, the consistency of deeply rooted elements now being able to proc more often is really nice. And I mean, again, bloodlust and heroism being off GCD means that it is a lot more safer to do your burst, because you don't need to press GCD after GCD after GCD to then see the enemy team react on all those 3 CDs. While if you're like putting everything into one button, like a one-shot macro from Swifty, often or not, it is enough to make them like use all their CDs to then have a safer play afterwards. I think this is going to hurt the self heal pretty much, because it was like top 2 healing with Earth Shield. I think it hurts more Elemental than Enhancement Shaman though. That's my opinion, because Elemental Shaman, his self heals is more costly than anything, so they do rely a lot of on Earth Shield and also Healing Stream Totem. But it will be noticeable, but I think it's not the end of the world. I think Enhancement Shaman is still very much A tier, and I'm very close of putting it in S tier in my books, and I will make a video about it, like a tier list for 2s, for 3s, and for Soul Shuffle, and also for RBGs. We need to play a bit more RBGs as well. But I think this is going to be very, very healthy for the game. I think self heals being like nerfed is good, as long as it's not like over reacting on something. And I hope they do not touch on healing surge. I'd like to be able to cast a healing surge and heal myself as an elemental shaman and also as an enhancement shaman. But we will have to see how they're going to react on those changes. Warlock Call Observer now has 8% of the Warlock's health instead of 20%, which is massive. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I do use my CDs to actually like kill an observer, or sometimes I use like a full power maelstrom, a lightning bolt into something else, like for example frost shock, to actually able to kill the observer. Now I think just a lightning bolt would be enough, or maybe like a empowered frost shock. It depends. I think it's enough to actually kill it. I'm talking like an enhancement shaman POV, but I can talk about it like a elemental shaman POV. You could just flame shock into a lava burst and it will be dead. So I think it's a very good change. Destruction Warlock, incinerate damage reduced by 10%. It was hurting very much. Shadowburn also nerfed by 20%. That's actually very big, because they do think that Chaos Bot is now in a great state, so they want to bring it their whole DPS down, like so the consistent damage and such. I think it's a good change, because Destruction Warlock is pretty much S tier in my books. Again, very strong in 2s, in 3s, and Soul Shuffle. 2s a bit less because it's easier to pillar, but sometimes with the precog pops and such, it can feel like you have more chance with Chaos Bolt. So you do have to not miss your interrupts and silences, which is something that can actually happen pretty much in any like PvP scenario, right? So we'll see how they react on it. Honest Warrior gets like a pretty significant change. On Sharpened Blade, it will be increased to 30 seconds and duration decreased by 2 seconds on Sharpened Blade. That's a huge nerf in my opinion. Like I said in my prediction video, I really think Arms Warrior is in their sights, and I really think they do want to nerf it in the close future. Skull Splitter now is going to expire bleeds to deal 65% of the damage in PvP combat instead of 100%, but to compensate that, they do increase the damage on deep wounds and rend to no longer be reduced damage in PvP. So I think overall, whenever you're going to do a Skull Splitter, it is going to do kind of the same damage, if I'm not mistaken. My maths can be wrong. I think it's like 5% difference that you're going to see. But overall, consistent damage-wise, your deep wounds and rend is going to do more damage. So that's a good thing, I think. But the burstness and the burst is going to be reduced. So that's pretty much it. Fueled by Violence now heals for 70% instead of 85%. That's a huge nerf as well, because people played with that talent, and it healed for a lot with Skill Splitter. Now it will heal for a bit less. So those are the changes. I think overall my tier list didn't really change that much. I think I'm going to make a tier list tomorrow. I want to make a arms PvP guide, but I need to test now the changes with the skull splitter, because I wanted to showcase the skull splitter like build, but I really want to see the changes live. So I might make the video then next week instead. I know that some people were waiting for it and asked me on in the comment section below, but I think it's the best that I can talk about something that is going to happen in the near future, instead of like judging it for right now while it will change in 3 days. I think it's too silly. But anyways, this is like the end of the video. I want to also again do an announcement. My second channel will be talking about League of Legends. So mobile gameplay. I always wanted to make like League of Legends videos. That's how I started on YouTube as well. And I want to make videos on the second channel about it. And this channel will slowly probably talk about MMORPG PvP. Like for example World of Warcraft. But if World of Warcraft dies, again, there's a lot of PvP content that can be found on other MMORPGs, but right now it's only World of Warcraft. Do not worry about that. For the second channel, again, League of Legends and such, you're going to see guides, you're going to see tier lists like you are used to on this channel for World of Warcraft, discussion videos, and just how to climb, when to climb, how to do XYZ, when to do XYZs. I want to make those kinds of videos on the second channel, so do subscribe on it. You'll see in the description. Again, just click on it, subscribe, and you'll see content for that channel in the near future. And overall, I'm very happy with season 2. I think the only issue I have right now is the abundance of good games and good gameplay on other like kind of games, so I don't really have the time to actually put like a lot of time into just one game. And also I have family life and work life, so I have to compensate a bit with everything. So I will probably focus on like 3 characters instead of like the usual 6 characters, but you will see more guides and more precise gameplay about those 3 characters. And maybe sometimes I will just do some gameplay videos about different classes and specs just to showcase those specs, but I will probably go in depth about a few specs and classes here and there, but you will see that in a future video. Again, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Also on the second channel, it will help me a ton, and we will catch each other very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.